Creative Living, utilizing today's technology with the best of the past to bring you innovative ideas and up-to-date information for creative lifestyles in today's active world. With your host, Cheryl Borden.
Welcome to Creative Living today. We're going to learn how to use humor to relieve stress. We'll learn how to stamp a quilt and feature some great turkey recipes for year-round dining. One of my guests is Sue Hansen, and she's a motivational speaker. Sue's going to talk about humor and stress. And stress is inevitable in today's environment, and some people weather the strain better than others. Sue's from Montrose, Colorado, and her company is Sue Hansen Speaks. Another guest is Ann Butler, and she's a designer and crafter, and she's going to show how to use specialty stamps to stamp out a real quilt. The stamps are created without a lip, so you can easily place them next to each other to create your artwork. Ann's business is Ann Butler Designs, and she's from Villard, Minnesota. And we'll begin the show today with Marty Van Ness, who is a spokesperson and home economist with Butterball in Chicago, Illinois. Marty's going to tell how to enjoy turkey throughout the year, not just during the holidays. She'll demonstrate traditional turkey recipe ideas with a more contemporary twist. Marty, when we say we're going to talk turkey, we mean it today, don't we?
Oh, yes.
And there are a lot of new products on the market that if someone's thinking, well, it's a whole bird and that's the only thing there is to cook, we're going to show them some new products that will really make cooking turkey a real challenge and fun.
Oh, well, it's going to be so easy, and it can be used year-round. Turkey isn't just for Thanksgiving. We use turkey products in lots of different recipes every day of the year.
And isn't it funny, we tend to think of it only at holiday times.
Right.
And I always say, why don't I do this more often?
Well, we've taken care of this by adding a lot of other products to the line. But
let's start with the big bird though, right now.
Yeah.
And this is, tell us what's unique about the whole turkey.
This turkey has been called, received a dry brine, which means it was rubbed with a spice mixture.
Is that what gives it the color?
Right. There's a chili powder that's incorporated into the other spices. And this particular turkey looks a little darker than usual because we use a special chili from Chimayo, the Chimayo chili, which it tends to be a little darker. But whatever chilies that you
Looks
like
good to me.
in your part of the country, you certainly can use that. And then each slice would have that little bit of flavor that really spices it up. We found that a lot of traditions are great, but people want to be cross-generational. And the younger people like it a little bit spicier, and they want to add something that's going to really kick it up a notch. So the spice rub turkey is all prepared the day ahead of time, which is wonderful.
That's wonderful.
You don't have to wait to the last minute to cook your turkey, whether it's for Thanksgiving or just Mother's Day or any day of the year. You do the rub the day before, cover it totally, and put it in the refrigerator. And it's a dry brine because there's no water, but there is salt and other spices and ingredients that help to coat and give flavor to the turkey. Then the next day you take it out, roast it according to package directions. Couldn't be easier.
Which is by pounds and that sort of thing. And that's what I like about the packaging. You can read on there, and if you've never cooked one before, you can cook it successfully.
Absolutely,
I like
every
that.
single time.
Okay, we go from the whole bird to, these are shish kebabs, but what's different?
Well, the special thing about these turkey shish kebabs are they use a smoked turkey, and we make a fabulous smoked turkey sausage. And the smoked turkey sausage gets cut into little segments, little pieces.
Is it already pre-cooked?
It is, but you would want to warm it.
Sure,
certainly.
But that really does cut down the preparation and the cooking
right.
time.
And what I like to do as a trick for any of these recipe methods, any slicing, dicing, I like to do the day before. Maybe while the dinner the night before is cooking, I can, if I'm organized, if I can get to that stage a few days a week, have the peppers ready and the onions sliced the day before. You can even slice up the sausage the day before, put it in a baggie, refrigerate it, then right before dinner, thread them onto the skewers, and you can roast this or grill this in just a few minutes. And all the recipes, by the way, for today's foods are available at butterball.com.
Oh, so if we forget a few things, we can go back and check.
Absolutely.
Okay, and here we have something that's made with, this is the dark meat, white and dark meat.
Right.
There.
This is our 3-pound roast. And it's a turkey roast. It comes all breast or breast and thigh. So you can use either one that you like. You follow the package directions for this and then slice the meat into thin slices. And what we're making here are the Cuban sandwiches, and they're grilled. So it's layered with turkey and ham and Swiss cheese and some other ingredients, some vegetables, and then you wrap it in foil, and you've already preheated your grill, and then the foil packets are set on the grill. I think it's a medium temperature. And then you put something heavy on this to press it. It's kind of like before panini machines. You put
Oh, I
either a
see.
big cast iron skillet on top of the foil wrapped sandwich on the grill.
Because you want the grill marks.
Yes,
That's
and great
traditional.
grill marks we have today. Or I sometimes will wrap a heavy brick in foil and use
Good
that.
idea.
And this is great for a small group, a family of 4, or if you want to double the recipe, just use more bricks or more cast iron skillets.
Or I just love ways to use leftovers, and this would be a great
Absolutely.
way to.
That's a
And I
perfect
was
way.
looking while you were talking. I was looking on here. They even have a crock pot method, and you know it seems like crock pot cookery
yes.
is really becoming popular
Right, you can have
again.
everything set up the night before you go to work, put this in the crock pot with the ingredients and set it on the proper temperature and it's ready for dinner.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I also love Cajun flavoring,
Oh.
so this just fits the bill right here.
Now this is the same product as this one, except it has a Cajun flavoring to it. So you get that little extra spice to it. And that's what you see around the rim of the slice on this sandwich.
Kind of like the rub. I
Right.
mean, gives you
Yes,
the same
in a
effect.
similar effect. And that has grilled vegetables, and it's on a Kaiser roll, and it has a wonderful kind of a bacon mayonnaise spread that you put on, like a bacon ranch spread that you put on the bun. Just delicious.
Well, and with each one of these recipes, I was just thinking, like when you talked about the cheese and the slices and things, these are so good because you can just custom make them or
Right.
let people build their own
Right.
if they're eating with you.
Absolutely. You can make this kind of an optional. You could even offer both of these types of sandwiches if you're having a football party or, people over for the 4th of July even. This is kind of a little twist on that.
Well, and especially with the grilling. I think we always like to grill in the
Oh,
summer.
it's fun.
I can make my husband do that. Well, Marty, thank you so much. It's nice to know what some of the new products are, and
Oh, you're
it's
welcome,
just so
Cheryl.
easy. And like you say, call that Butterball talk line and ask questions right in the middle of how you're stuffing the turkey.
Yeah, well, Butterball.com is open all year round. The talk line's seasonal
Through the
with,
holiday.
with November and December, but Butterball, 1-800, or Butterball.com,
That's the one to go
Yeah.
to year round for
Yes,
help.
that's
Well,
correct.
thank you so much
Thank
for being
you,
with us
Cheryl.
today.
Happy to be here.
And I've been so excited for you to come because you always do something new and exciting and bright colors and interesting things to do, but they're always easy. And that's what I love.
Yeah, quick and easy.
Well, quilting is so popular, continues to be. Stamping is just beyond popular. You've combined those. How did you do this?
I have. I've come up with a concept for faux quilting so you can stamp out your quilt. Because everybody can't go and buy all those fabrics they want. So with the stamps, they can have a set of stamps and use any color combination they have of inks and come up with endless possibilities. And it's quick.
And it's quick. Well, we just got to show people because I had no idea really when it said faux quilting. This is an example of a little pillow top that normally we would have quilted and had to have bought all these different little fabrics or the, what do they call them, the quarter yards?
Fat quarters.
Fat
and stuff.
quarters,
Yeah.
But these are all stamped on.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Here it is in a little bit bigger sample. Might be a little easier to see. Again, this is a little table runner or something.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's just hard to believe that these are stamped on.
And it took like 2 hours to do that whole thing.
Do the whole thing.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And we'll save the best for last after you show us how to do it. But of course, we need stamps, and that's what you have come up with. You came up with the concept of quilt-looking stamps.
Yep.
So we can see some. You just have zillions of these.
Yeah, and there's more coming out. So they're in clear and red rubber.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Some people have preference over one or the other.
Sometimes one's easier to see, especially when you put them on those blocks, when you stamp them, so that's good. And I love the bright colors, but of course these are more pastel, so it doesn't have to be all bright.
Right, you know, it's just what your preference is.
And what I like is you said you sort of make a quilt block first on paper.
I like to try it out on paper because you can try different combinations and just see what you really like and then go on your fabric.
That's a good idea. You don't want to invest like in quilting. Sometimes, you know, if you've made a mistake, you've got to make the whole block over if you've made a mistake with one of the little sections. So, okay, we've showed the stamps, the ink, and the patterns, and so now we're going to first prepare one on paper.
Okay, so you're able to easily, these are patent pending, so what they are, they don't have any lip on them. So you're able to butt them right up next to each other. And you can stamp it all out together. So you can make a block and put all your little pieces together.
But now this will mean that we're going to stamp this whole thing in one color?
You can, yes.
But
otherwise,
the different pieces make it look like individual triangles. I see.
Yep. And or you could take and ink half of it with one color and ink the other half with another color if you wanted different colors.
But not having that lip on it's the key, because you can get it right up there next to it.
Right, so you're able to just put them all right next to each other, and then you just, these inks are really juicy.
And that's what you need for complete coverage. Sometimes I've used them and, you know, it'll stamp out nicely on something, but it's not covered.
Right, so you just I'm gonna wipe that off right there. And you're able to just lay it right down, and I like to give it a good press.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so I got a little bit too much ink there.
Oh, because it got down on
Right,
the edge.
because it's such a new stamp, or you know, ink pad. So you can do it again. But the key is, some people can't get things straight.
Yeah.
So this is a laser square. So you're able to put it exactly, you know, you make your first impression, and you line it up, and then you're
they can
able
see it, but that's a red laser line that
Right.
you can put right at the very bottom of the first block.
of the first block, and then you're able to turn your block whichever way you want. And you can line it up because the acrylic blocks are clear, and you can make your second impression. And then they're nice and straight.
Oh, how neat. That is really something. Maybe the laser shows a little better like that. I see.
Right. So what you want to do when you go to fabric is you need to have ink. This ink is from Clear Snap, and it's Crafter's ink. So it is fabric safe.
Oh, okay. Well, do they usually say on there if it, yeah, it says for fabric, wood, and more. Okay.
Right, so this one was already done earlier, and you can do it on color fabric.
Sure.
So this is black ink on color fabric to give you a whole new look.
Yeah, because this then looks like an additional little block that you pieced in there.
Yeah,
Cute.
and what you need to do is you always need to come over and heat set it. And
Oh,
I just
the
do that
ink?
with an iron. Yep.
On dry or,
Yeah, I have it on dry.
okay.
And I just do it for a few seconds, and that's it. And then you can go through a washing machine with it and everything. So, I mean, it's that easy. And then you take, once you have a whole quilt done, you take your fabric and your batting,
Just like you do in regular sewing quilting.
right? And whatever backing fabric you're going to use. And you take it to your sewing machine and decide how you're going to quilt it. It's that easy. I mean, you can follow the lines, or you can do crisscross, or, you know, if you know how to meander. So then
the
in
free
the
motion.
end, yeah.
This is a whole quilt. It's just amazing to think that this has been stamped. Each one of these blocks has been stamped.
Yep, stamped, and then I use the laser square to help get those straight, you know.
And you can see you can feel the batting inside, so it gives it that soft base. This is just, and you'll put a border.
I'll
or
put a binding
dash,
on it. I haven't
binding.
decided if I want to stamp out a binding yet or use, you know, a color. Yeah, so.
And this is just, on this case, it's just straight stitching. So
Yep,
any
I
machine
just went
does that.
in between the blocks. That's all I did.
Well, how fast is that? I can do this.
Yeah, quick and easy. And the result, you wouldn't know it was stamped
No,
when you see it.
I thought it was a sewing quilted one. Well, thank you so much, Ann, and congratulations on all your new products. That
you.
has to be a real something that you're proud of.
Yeah, it's exciting, you know, because you think about it, and then when it comes to market, it's really
When you go in
fun.
the store and see your name, I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for showing us how to do this stamp quilting.
Thank you.
Sue, it's really nice to have you here. And when I first heard you speak at a conference I was attending, I thought, well, she would be an interesting guest. And then when I realized after talking to you, your busy schedule, I thought, let's do a segment on stress, because if anyone experiences that, it would be you. And yet I think we all do, including our kids and grandkids. But I like your idea of just having fun, if we could all learn to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we live in a busy world, and the truth is we get stressed out, and some of it's self-induced and some of it is external. We can't do anything about it. So my theory is that you need to understand what's happening to you, and there's different levels of stress, and then you need to be able to remedy that. So, you know, if you think about it, you know, the old fight or flight syndrome, so, you know, with the stress response, some of us stand there and fight and some of us just run. Well, you know, the normal stress is something that's transitory, and it comes for a little while and it goes away. You know, you have a test maybe you have to take in school or something like that, so you get stressed out, your blood pressure goes up, and you take a test. Then your body goes back to normal. Well, what's happening in our culture, because we're so busy, is that we are under stress for too long a period of time. And our
Without
bodies are
coming
not,
down.
Right, exactly. So our bodies are really not designed for that. And of course the scientists call it hyperstress. So, you know, normal stress is, you know, I'm getting ready to jump off the ski slope, I'm scared, but I'm ready, and, you know,
The
so
adrenaline's
the
pumping.
performance, right. So it's a performance enhancing piece. But when it gets to be too much and over too much time, it can be damaging to your body. And so we're really seeing some pretty astounding numbers in terms of health and stress in our society. And we're seeing it, of course, at the doctor's office. I think like 3 out of 5 visits or something like stress related. So it's significant.
But it sounds easy, and they would probably say you've got to eliminate stress. Well, we can't eliminate it all, like you mentioned. What are some things that we can do, that we can control?
You need to understand what you're doing to cause your own stress. You know, I mean, do you have to have a clean house every Tuesday? You know, I have friends that, you know, you have to clean it every Tuesday. I just clean it when I invite people over. So, you know, you have to put things into your life that actually help alleviate the stress. So some things that you can do are, of course, the same old things that everybody talks about is, you know, have an exercise program. I just say think about exercise, because, you know, exercise is one of those things that
That's stressful for me.
I read an article one time that said that basketball players, if they spend an hour visualizing themselves in the game, they had as good a chance as somebody who practiced every day. So I think visualizing might be a really good thing to do. So, but exercise is good. And all kidding aside, we need to be active, and as a society, we're not doing that. And of course, obesity is one of the things that is a byproduct of some of the stress, and that costs healthcare a lot of money. So you know, you stay connected to that kind of a exercise program. I think you need to put things in perspective, like make better choices so that you are not stressing yourself out. And
Maybe prioritizing too.
well, and also, you know, if you've made these internal rules about what you need to do when, you have to look and see, are they really necessary, or are they things that I'm imposing upon myself? I think we do that a lot as we impose our own stress. So you control the things that you can control, and then the other things, life happens and it's unexpected and we don't really know what's going to come. So you need to be prepared for that, in eventualities of you can't plan every single thing. And you know, you've seen some of these people that are just, you know, they have to have such tight control over everything.
Everything.
So I think you have to really think through what is stressing you out. I think you have to stay connected to some kind of an exercise program, whether that is strenuous or whether it's just walking. You have to do something. And I think you have to have a sense of humor. And I think that's a big issue.
Well, it certainly helps. Backing up just a little bit, do you think today's youth are, I know you mentioned the obesity problem, and we're seeing that in young people too. Do you think parents are putting so many rules and regulations on kids and the activities that they're in? Are today's kids under more stress than maybe when we were
Without
young?
a doubt, kids have a whole different lifestyle than we did when we were kids. And they were doing a study in LA of one family that actually, I think they had actually 8 families, and they were tracking these families over a period of time. And they watched how kids were in the van. They had a refrigerator in the van where they would stock snacks. They would do their homework on the way from school to their sporting activities and things like that. You know, and I was just speaking to a group of people recently, and I said, you know, I played sports in school too. My parents didn't come regularly to my games. You know, it was a different kind of expectation. So some of the research are talking about, we have become a child-dominant society. Whatever our kids want to do is really important. So we're putting all this stress on our kids for performance, grades, getting into school, SATs. So I don't, you know, the verdict's out. What's going to happen to them when they grow up?
That'll be interesting.
We sure
to
know
follow
what
that study.
the impact is for us. We know what the impact of stress is for us.
Well, you mentioned humor, and you brought some things. Let's go through
I
these.
did, because I think that I think you ought to take life lightly, and some of the research indicates that actually laughter can help alleviate stress and also
think so.
alleviate heart disease. So we're really seeing for the first time that there's been a positive effect. I mean, people have talked about it a long time, but laughter does either the drop in stress is due to the endorphins that kick in, or it's that it constricts opens up the blood vessels.
Takes your mind off maybe what you were so stressed
Maybe
out
that's it.
about.
So I've developed the road rage survival kit, because road rage is one of those things, you know. I was driving to Aspen one time, and Aspen, Colorado, and outside of the town, there was like a highway sign that said, for road rage, dial 611 or something like that. And as I was driving through, I thought, well, is that like, do I call them? Do I report them, or do I report myself? Like, you know, this is it. I wasn't quite sure. So, but I thought, you know, maybe a road rage box would help. So I came up with this thing, and I have put funny things in there because, as you know, you're driving along the road, and now you may not be able to get insurance if you have all these things, but when you drive by and people are upset, if you drive the speed limit, people are just upset at you. So you can actually smile and use this as you know a lighten up for people. It's kind of fun, and I also kind of my mother, I was raised in a very prim and proper household, and she was from the East Coast, and there was no white after Labor Day, all the kinds of rules that you couldn't. And so I would never ever like flip the bird at somebody as I'm driving in the car.
Driving.
But then I thought, well, you know, because then somebody might shoot you, which would really kind of drop the stress level a lot if you were dead. But but anyway, I thought, well, if I have a bird, if I have this bird on a stick, and then someone does something mean to me, if I just hand this, you don't have to be active at all. You don't have to look at them. You don't have to stick your tongue out. Nothing. You just hold this bird up. They eventually get it, but they're 5 miles down the road before they realize that they're like. Was that
then
the
you
bird?
pass them and they're laughing.
Well,
It helps both of
maybe,
you.
maybe not always, not
Yeah.
always. But you have to have fun, and I think that life has gotten so serious, and we're taking ourselves so seriously that I think it's ridiculous. So I have tried to, do some shopping so that I find things. One of my big issues are cell phones. I think we are way too connected. And so I kind of even hate my cell phone because it's never quite the right thing. So I found this, and now I can just walk around the grocery store and I use my phone, and my grandkids love it. And so if you're driving in the car and you're like this, it's really funny because
I guess it would
they
be.
think, oh my gosh, she's on a landline. So the whole idea is that you can control the stress that you're under, and there are things that you can't control, but the things that you can control, you should really lighten up a little bit about it and have some fun with it.
Well, I agree. I think humor, whether you've had surgery and you can look at the fun things that have happened, it makes your healing go faster, and it's something important to teach kids at an early age.
It is.
To not take ourselves so seriously.
Right, and you know what? It's not. I'm not taking stress lightly. I want to be clear that it is
We have
important,
it.
and we have it, and it is causing health problems. And not everything can be solved by a road warrior kit or a bird or a clown nose. But you do need to put life in perspective, and you have control over that piece of it. So I think that's the only way that we're going to conquer this stress monster is to make some better choices for ourselves.
Good points. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks,
I
it's
enjoyed
been
visiting
great.
with you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. Next time on Creative Living, we'll learn how to relieve pain in 3 seconds, show lots of different ways to use grapefruit juice, and we'll talk about cabinet design for bathrooms. One of my next guests is a doctor of Oriental medicine, and he's also written a book on relieving pain in 3 seconds. He's going to demonstrate several techniques for dealing with various types of pain, including asthma, allergies, fibromyalgia, and post-surgery. Another guest who works for Texas Sweet Citrus Marketing Incorporated will explain all of the interesting facts about grapefruit juice, including the best way to squeeze the grapefruit, different juicing devices, and she'll share some fun things you can do with grapefruit juice. And did you know that bathrooms are the second most commonly remodeled rooms in the house? Another guest will share some tips for homeowners who are considering a bath remodel. All of these topics will be featured on the next Creative Living show. If you ever have comments or suggestions or ideas for shows, you can email me at cheryl.borden@enmu.edu. I'd also like to ask you to become a fan of Creative Living on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com and in the search window type in Creative Living with Cheryl Borden. I hope you'll plan to join me next time for Creative Living.
We are very pleased to offer a new booklet that accompanies this series of Creative Living. This booklet is titled the 6700 Series, and it features a wonderful collection of ideas and information, and it's available free of charge on our website. Posted as a PDF file, you can simply download the entire booklet or just the segments you're most interested in. You'll find information on foods, nutrition, clothing, fashion, health and beauty, home decorating, and much more. For your copy of this new booklet, go to our website at kenw.org and then click on Creative Living. Scroll down to the booklet section and you can click on this booklet, or on any of the other booklets we have available online. Just go to kenw.org, click on Creative Living, and download the booklet titled the 6700 Series. We also invite you to sign up for our free e-newsletter. Just go to kenw.org and click on the Sign Up Now button and input your email address. That's all there is to it. You'll enjoy reading an up-to-date newsletter filled with interesting topics and information. Thank you.